this happen for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And today on Modify Your Life podcast, we got a banger. And the reason why I know it's a banger because we've had GC the coach on here multiple times, and every single time I have you on here, my clients love it. Right, because you know the quote, I don't know if it's not the quote of my brand, but one of the mottos of my brand is, change your life mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. Right. Also got to throw in there spiritually for those too if they're searching it. Right, but a lot of us, that are usually bad with our weight are also bad with saving and finances and money. So having a conversation like this with someone who's pretty soon going to be helping us with our, credit and stuff like that. Because like I said, I've talked about it plenty of times before. Yep. I was bad without it. I definitely know I was bad with it, right? And at the same time, it takes discipline, just like it takes, and just like in weight loss, they discipline, right?
That's all it is.
So what do we get into today, man? You came in here, you came in hot, you came here ready to go. We got a new camera set up. We got different angles now for those that are watching. For those that are listening, appreciate you so much. For those that are watching, let us know. I'm just trying to play with it a little bit. This isn't our living room. And I just want to keep on, I don't know, just because you're stuck doing one thing doesn't mean it's right. Right. And so I want to try something different. I want to see if I like this. Now we got an editor. Shout out to one of my clients, Henry. Now that he edits our podcast and he helps me edit for stuff for social media, man. So now that we have that, I could, go a little further back and stuff like that and kind of play with the whole, camera settings and see what's going to be the best thing for us.
Right. Little minor changes like that make a big deal in life.
Oh, man. Well,
everything.
With everything. I mean, just like being stuck doing the same thing and because it's working, but you don't know that there's another way you could do it that would actually work better. Right. Like the conversation we had where I was talking about like my closing calls and when I talking to clients and how if I'm going to take them on in my program, you're like, well, why aren't you doing? I'm like, oh, Frankie handles that for me. That's my girlfriend. They know who she is, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then I started to do it and then boom, fast forward. And that was a simple little tip you gave me that helped me.
Minor tweaks, minor changes, minor little adjustments will always be the case. Because we know life is ever expanding, ever evolving. We have to keep that in mind. So last year, I came twice. Showed up, we talked about credit, but I think now it's 2024, everybody understands what credit is. When it comes to, there's a FICO score, and then there's, of course, accounts on there, either positive or negative. So everybody gets that now.
Mine are negative.
But we have to now understand that in 2024, credit repair itself just isn't doing it anymore, just enough. Reason being is because 2020 happened. We all know what happened for 4 years. Well, 3 years, 4 years, where the world did what it did. But what happened was a lot of people started doing credit repair. A lot of people started learning about credit repair. A lot of people wanted to learn what is credit. So what ended up happening out of nowhere, a lot of companies started to come out. Mind you, I did this back in 2001, where we first wrote a letter to the creditors, to the bureaus, to even attempt to remove something off someone's credit. Fast forward to now, you have companies everywhere, and you also have softwares and AI. That's revolutionized, changed everything. The problem is people don't want to learn how to do something the right way. So what has happened in the last 4 years, the actual creditors have gotten smarter, collection agencies and the reporting agencies, AKA bureaus, which they are not bureaus. We've talked about this before. They are not legally a government agent body. They are just a credit reporting agency for profit. So your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax are nothing more than a reporting agency that houses data. Well, all these companies that came out of nowhere to help people with credit repair had pretty much the same software and same template letters. So now imagine 125 million people trying to repair their credit every month. Mm-hmm. There's 350 million Americans. Only a third are really trying to take action. Yeah. So imagine the same letter coming into your office, to your company and your reporting agency. You're starting to catch on.
You're like, yeah, wait, this is copy and paste.
Wait a minute, exactly. Yeah. So what's happening now? A lot of them are not paying attention. They send you a stall tactic letter. Experian will say, we know you're trying to repair your credit. At this time, we know it's not you, or we don't believe it's you, so we're not going to move forward with your request. No problem. So what should we do? The minor adjustment that you just mentioned for your business is what I've had to do. I had to pivot. I had to add a legal team. So I brought a legal team to do it the right way. So there's no template letters we send. We use AI to the fullest extent, but most importantly, the actual consumer law to the fullest extent. Why consumer law? Because they're governed under consumer law. the actual reporting agencies have to adhere to what consumer law is. So for instance, if I have a client come to me and say, man, I've been harassed by these collection agencies. Remember last time we spoke about that somebody was calling you and messing with you?
Still calling me.
Still calls you.
She's so nice. So nice. She's so rude.
Right. Either we record those calls, or on top of that, we ask them to validate the debt. Now, upon them validating that debt under their own little paper that they're going to send you saying you owe this money, we turn that right over to our legal team. If our legal team sends them, go ahead and send us the chain of title, where you originated this debt or where it originated from, where did they get it from, who did they purchase it from. If there's a break in the chain, they can either tell them to stop attempting to collect that debt, or they can sue them for you. So we've brought in a legal team now to do all these things. Now, for instance, I'll give you another one. They've gotten so smart to go ahead and stall out everybody like we're talking about. I don't even care trying to send these letters out anymore. When a client comes to me, I want to look at your entire profile. I'm going to take this entire profile, give it to the attorney. If you filed a bankruptcy before, chances are there might be one error in one of those accounts. When you file a bankruptcy, everything gets zeroed out in court. Okay. If one of those accounts still shows $1 or even a penny as a balance, you can turn around and sue the actual credit reporting agencies. There's a client, and I can't say the dollar amount, but it's up in the six figures, that sued Experian for this. So what ends up happening is we take this file and we turn it over to our legal team, and they start to look at it. If they find something there where they could turn around and sue for you, you got money in your pocket. So what you thought you owed, it turns around being money for you. So we've revolutionized now. Our company turned it around and said, we're going to add a legal department. On top of that, we're using AI, like I said, to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
Why? Because it needs to be personalized. AI will pull out all the data for me about your entire profile, and we get down to exactly what needs to be disputed the right way. So that's what credit repair is becoming. But what's important to understand now is that I want to urge everybody to repair their credit now. And the reason being, before we even talk about that real quick, I want to let everybody know, if you have filed a bankruptcy, if anybody has filed a bankruptcy, go ahead and go to smartcredit.com/GC credit. I want you to sign up for $1. I think it's like $2. Pull your entire profile if you have filed a bankruptcy. And if you find $1 that's reporting on any of those accounts, shoot me a DM. We'll turn it over to legal, and we'll have the credit reporting agencies pretty much sued.
Dang.
So that's big money. And I can't tell you the dollar amount because it's different for every case. But I want all your clients right now, whoever's watching this, to go again to smartcredit.com/GC credit and pull their entire report. If you find that your bankruptcy, any of the accounts show $1 on there when it should have been zeroed out, that's a huge lawsuit. So I wanted to talk about that for all your clients.
Dang.
Shoot me a DM. I got you.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people out there listening that are going through stuff like this. A lot of people I know.
Right.
I'm in the middle of fixing my credit with you, and I also know how easy it is to let your credit go. You know what I mean? Without discipline, without like holding yourself accountable to not overspending or going out that weekend, right? And it all comes with the same work, work as weight loss, right? Same work as starting a business. Same work as anything that's going to be worth having is going to be discipline and continuing to hold yourself accountable to not swipe that card. And that's how I got in my debt.
Right.
I mean, so like, what about the people that no one has bankruptcy, right?
Right.
No one here's listening has bankruptcy.
I got another one.
So what about the people that are sitting here in a lump sum of debt right now? And like for me, for instance, I'm not in a lump sum of debt anymore,
right? Because
I told you last year we're working on it, right? And then we can even get into that, but we'll talk about this. I have debt. Don't know what to do. I got people calling me. So like, where do I go from here?
In the same exact route that we're doing with the bankruptcies, if you owed a particular debt to the original creditor and you see that it says the word collection charged off, that means two things. The actual original debt, wherever you had that credit card or debt, Chase, be it whatever big bank, charged it off. They got paid through their insurance, their debt insurance, and they also wrote it off on their taxes. Once it says charged off, they no longer want anything to do with it. So if you call Chase and say, hey, I'd like to pay that $5,000 off,
no,
they can't take it. Now, you have to track on your credit report what agency, whatever collection agency has it at this point.
Yeah.
If it is the same account and it's within the statute of limitations, sure, do a settlement with them. But the original amount is no longer what you owe. They're going to hit you for it. They're going to scare you and say you owe us $5,000. How? It was charged off before. So now what they have to do is come up with a settlement for you. Our attorneys can actually do that for you as well. They can actually help you settle the debt. Now, for instance, let's say that debt, they couldn't collect on it. Some years passed. If you live in a state where if you look up in Google, consumer debt statute of limitations in your state, and your state is 4 years, that debt has now passed 5, 6, 7 years, and there's somebody trying to collect on you, turn that file over to me. I'll give it right to the legal team, and they can sue the collection agency for trying to attempt on an out of statute of limitations debt. You're talking about some big money if they're trying to collect on a debt they're not supposed to be collecting.
Yeah.
If they find a kink, a break in the chain of title, like I mentioned earlier, they can be sued heavily because they no longer have that. It's not their debt.
Yeah.
They bought some paper that just no longer exists. So that's fraud, in other words, when they're trying to collect. So that's what I would advise anybody that has a bunch of debt and you just don't know where you sit. Go to, again, smartcredit.com/GC credit, pull your entire profile. I'll go over it with you. Literally, jump on a call with me, DM me, and we'll jump and just do a Zoom call. We'll look at your credit together, and I'll tell you exactly where you sit. I don't even charge for that.
No, free consultation? Dang.
Free consultation.
I do that too. I thought it was only person.
Nah,
I thought it was only
free
person.
consultation. Look, a little bit of free, ain't nothing wrong with that. But I just want everybody to understand that it's me you're talking to. It's me at the end of the day that we're going to jump on your credit. Dude, like I told you before, I don't care if it's 1,000 people. There's a mission I'm on personally.
Yep.
A personal mission that I want people honestly to fix their credit. And which leads me to my next point. I urge your people that's watching this to fix their credit this year, the latest next year. People have been sleeping for the last 5 to 10 years. The blockchain system has already been developed. Your entire group right now, your entire community is first hearing this. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't care if I get flagged. I don't care if I'm the most Googled person from this day forward. Not because I'm telling people to man up, but because I'm telling people to change their life right now before the new monetary system changes.
Yeah, we're talking about that earlier.
Well, everybody was asleep in January celebrating, okay?
Yeah.
January 1st and talking about it's 2024 now. And we're talking about the elections and we're talking about all these distractions. There was this big event that took place, okay, in Davos, Switzerland, which is the World Economic Forum. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I'm listening.
World Economic Forum it happens every year with all the world leaders, the world governments that make decisions on you and I, that make decisions on us here. And you would think, why would they make decisions on us? Dude, it's the world leaders. We've heard of the one world system, one world government. They've been doing this. They're 20 years ahead. Right now, during what happened in the last 4 years, which I don't want to say the word so that way YouTube doesn't flag this, but we know what happened in the last 4 years. While that was going on and they had everybody producing a digital ID, right? So every time you went to a certain place, you had to enter that information on your phone, on a website, because they wanted to see it, like contact points, they were calling it. That's all going into the blockchain. The blockchain is nothing more than an infrastructure set up for the world governance to govern, of course, our financial system, but all the data that we hold.
Yeah, like basically like a digital social
Digital ID.
Yeah, digital ID. Yeah.
So everybody that has your state ID is already in the DMV or in the system, right? Well, that is being sent now exactly to the blockchain. So think of it this way: whatever is attached to your name, whether you were vaccinated or not, where you were born, or whatever information, data points, including your credit, you're not going to be able to change it. I'm urging literally everybody this year to fix your credit. I don't care if it's with me. I don't care if it's with anybody. Yeah. You only got this year and next year, 2025, they're rolling it all out completely. Whatever sits on your credit, bro, is going to be there for the rest of time for you. So the digital blockchain, if nobody knows what that is, I would tell everybody, start Googling, man.
Do your own research.
You have to do your research.
You have to. Yeah, it's like, and we live in a time right now where people are listening to this and then go tell someone. Like, obviously, I would never have anyone on here that I don't want to talk with. I don't feel has value to bring. Right. But always, even as you're talking to me, I'm like, wow, I'm interested in this. I'm listening to you talk. I want to do more research too. Because we live in a time right now where people like to let other people do the research for them. Now,
why is blockchain important? It really has to do with decentralization. For instance, for the last, I don't know, since we were a society, right? There's always been one person that runs or rules, right? Back in the days. Now there's governments. There's always one body that pushes out some type of whatever law, or somebody rolls out, or if you work somewhere, somebody has the last say. What happens with blockchain now, it's governed by everybody. So it's decentralized. But in all reality, it really is centralized because it's actual data points that connect to control. But we all know through the blockchain, if it's governed by us, we now can pull our own data. But what's on your data is there forever.
Yeah.
It's done.
And so what will that affect? And then what do you see that affecting everything? Or is it just like...
So it's going to affect everything for good. But why I urged everybody right now is because you're not going to be able to change what's in the blockchain unless you change every block that was there before it. So whatever data, the way blocks work, and I encourage everybody to look this up. Believe me, it has everything to do with everything in your life. Whatever page went into that block of information, a new block is being built empty. So whatever data goes into there has to connect to this data. So in essence, what we were doing with credit repair, we were going straight to the source, saying, remove this information, validate this information, such and such. Well, there's nobody there anymore in a block saying, sure, what information you have for me? There's nobody there. It's just a block of information. So who would I be requesting this information from? So they're doing away with the 3 reporting agencies, and it's going to be ran by the CFPB. The CFPB is a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's already happening. They were already pushing for it last year. But people don't understand, again, why did I say everybody's been asleep? Everybody's been procrastinating. Isn't that the same thing that happens with people with you in fitness?
Yeah.
The biggest killer on earth is
procrastination.
Big time. People have lost their lives because they procrastinated their whole lives, right? Because they kept eating and drinking soda.
Facts, procrastination.
So they die.
Get comfortable. Right? Comfortable is another word for lazy.
I'll do it later, right? Yep. I'll fix it later. I'll get to it later. We talked about this, that you don't change your life until you change your life.
Yeah.
The decisions you make. So we talked about this the last 2 podcasts, bro.
Yeah.
Where we said your habits are everything.
100%.
And so remember I also said, I'm the guy that's making 20 grand comes to me. Mm-hmm. What I was really trying to say is somebody that already has discipline in their life comes to me. For instance, my bulk of clients happen to always be law enforcement agents. And I'm telling you, a lot of law enforcement agents come to me for credit repair. A lot of professionals in the professional sectors, dentists, doctors.
I heard doctors are the worst.
Okay, think of it this way. These are guys who make $500,000, right? They took out so much school loan debt. They were thrown into a practice that makes a lot of money, and then they work so much. They never learned anything about finances or credit.
Just out of work.
So that's all they do, right?
Yeah.
And so I have a bulk of them. I have a bulk of veterans and active duty members. So a lot of these people cannot have bad credit. If you're in the military, you already know you can't have one bad cell phone on there. You'll go straight to JAG, they'll reprimand you, you get in trouble.
Oh,
so
wow.
the bulk of my clients, I mean, even a police officer's trying to make it up in the ranks and become a sergeant, they will not promote him if he has a cell phone bill on there. He needs to remove it.
Really?
A cadet that graduates, he only has 90 days to finish up his backgrounds. Within that time frame, that's all I'm given to repair his credit so that he can join the academy. So this is what I do. That's how I'm effective. Okay. So the bulk of my clients are really those people that cannot have they have to have stellar credit because they work in certain areas that require that. And so when I said last time, the people that hit me up are the ones that are already making money. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not about to take somebody who has the worst habits, be my client.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go ahead and say, you're fixing my credit anyways, I'm going to be late on all this. You're fixing my credit anyways, I'm going to go pull more credit.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, you're going to, well, I guess he keeps on paying. I mean, I think that's not a big problem.
Right.
But no, like you have to have discipline. So like me and Francine, what we've been working on, well, we started last year, right? And I'm someone that has discipline, you know, right. But I don't. Apparently I don't because we were supposed to be done. Well, we're supposed to be done last year, but we had a lot of incidents come up, you know, family stuff for grandma, and then my dad, and we're basically in California for 4.5 months out of last year. Right. Right. And then the bodybuilding show and stuff like that. So one way I would like, okay, we had to be out there. We had no choice but to be out there for 4.5 months. It was not like, you know, we planned for any of that stuff. Right. So that was a lot of money. You know, paying rent here, being in California for 4.5 months in total was pretty insane. But there was also dumb spending by me. Right. And, you know, I'm someone that preaches discipline, but I'm also someone that preaches I'm not perfect. Correct. So I never have a problem sharing stuff like this because at the end of the day, it's like, we are all working ourselves. I don't know. I've never had anyone on my podcast is perfect. I've never claimed to be perfect, but I do claim that I work on myself and I become better. So last year, you know, I can't remember the exact number. So I'll say, you know, $38,000 in debt. Right. Right. Ended the year off back at, so we brought it down to about 16, 17. Christmas time came around, went back up to 21. I think, was it 21, 22 or something like that.
Right.
Now we're down at 14 because we've been throwing money every single week. So am I starting off better than last year? 100%. Could I have possibly been done last year? I probably could have been done last year, paying everything off, but at the same time, there was, like I said, certain things had to be done. And also I was being very ignorant of my money, you know? So that's someone that's coming with some type of discipline, someone that has a business and has a brand and knows what discipline and accountability, consistency looks like. So I love that you say like you work with people that are already making money or they already have discipline, because when I was my heaviest and I was, just worrying about what I'm going to eat next and not about my self-development or growth, I didn't care about my credit.
Right.
All I cared about is getting enough credit cards to pay for the car. Well, for me, it was like the car parts at that time.
Right.
Right. And now as I've gotten older and I realize that we want to buy a house next year, we want to pay off debt. I want to pay off the IRS, whatever it might be. It's like I want to be a responsible adult and be like actual free, right? Like you know, paying like $6,000. I'm paying like $6,000 a month towards debt. Right. That's $6,000 a month. It could go to my savings. Correct. It could go to the business. They could go to helping someone pay for their gym membership for a year. Like that's so much it could go towards. But it's that said right now it's going towards 5 to 5 years ago mistakes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it takes discipline. And while we talk about this, your past will always come back and haunt you. Even though I'm in the position I am right now with discipline, now what I've done 5 years ago is coming back, and now I gotta pay the piper.
So that's a big point you're bringing up, especially since this is a fitness, wellness, is trying to make your life better.
This is a self-development podcast.
Self-development. What you just said was one of the key factors of what anybody changes and how people change. You said you could have put $5,000 to $6,000 back in your pocket. The fact that you're paying back the piper, I guarantee you won't do that again. No, because you know what it feels like.
No, honestly,
to suffer.
There's nothing worse right now. Like I'm being 100% real. Yeah, I'm not gonna bring up how much I make a month. Yeah. I got a client out there that keeps on trying to figure out what I make a month. He cracks me up. He's an awesome guy. Yeah. But I'm gonna say this: I'm making the most money that I've ever made in my life. Right. And I still feel broke because I'm paying $6,700 a month. Right. That's not my bills. That's not the car, the truck, the rent, everything like that. That is literally just credit cards and debt. Right. $6,700 I'm paying. That is another apartment. That's two of these apartments. That's a GTR. That's more than GTR a month. Like, you know what I mean? So now I'm looking at it, and every single time I see it come out, like I'm very blessed and happy that I've done it. But I'm thinking like, what if I would have just paid that 5 years ago? Sure. What if I would have just paid that when I was supposed to? What if I would have just handled what if, right? At least I'm getting it done. But at the end of the day, like I will never mess up my credit or have to owe this much money again because it hurts so bad. Like $6,700, like that is what someone makes in a month. Right. So I'm very blessed to be able to do this and I'm very proud of myself for how hard I work to do this. But at the same time, so ignorant. It was literally the most dumb. I can't even think of the right word to use, but it really like honestly negligent and like really made me like very frustrated at myself because like I did that, but it was an old version of myself. But at the end of the day, your past will come back and haunt you, even though you're on the right path. Your old past will, the old version of yourself will remind you they were once there. So now you're right. I will never do this again.
And that is identical and equivalent to somebody barely starting their weight loss journey. The fact that they didn't handle it back then, they have to go pay their dues today. So when they finally reach some kind of goal, right, they will never go back to that because they remember what it feels like. Yeah. It is equivalent. This is why I love coming on the show because credit and health is the same exact thing. And I'm trying to tie it in for everybody. So everybody that's listening to this, that's one of those factors. The other factor, counting macros, we mentioned this last time, is identical to keeping track of your bills.
Oh my gosh.
It's the same thing.
We have Zoom calls like that. I'm like, would you go out every single day with $1,000 limit credit card and spend $1,500?
Correct.
You're never going to catch up to that number because you're always going to be paying interest. You're going to be compounding interest. Then you're screwed. Well, that goes with your when you come with your tracking your food. If you're only allowed 1,000, and that's obviously don't listen to that number. And I know there very little people are only eating 1,000 calories a day. Right. But what I'm saying is that when you go out there and you are only supposed to eat 2,000 calories a day, and you go to Starbucks and get that 900 calorie drink, and then that 400 calorie breakfast. you now only have like 400 or 500 calories left for the day, and 400 calories is honestly 4 Oreos. Like, and like that's how I like to explain that. Like,
it's the same exact
but
thing.
we don't. But you know, it's so interesting, right? And it's no one. We respect money so much.
Right.
Right.
It's up
We
there with
will
oxygen,
literally
that's why.
go. It is up there with oxygen. God damn it, you're right. It is. No, it's really, it's
It
true
is, it
because
is.
we will respect money so much and go to a job we hate, work for a person we despise, and shovel shit all day for the satisfaction of a check, but we will not go to the gym and not go walk on a Stairmaster or treadmill for 30 minutes. But the payout, now we all have to work. I'm not saying we don't have to work.
Right.
But the payout that you're already going to the gym right now. You're already going to work right now. You already don't like the job right now. You're also not going to like the gym, but the payout is also going to be good at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like, it always like kind of baffles me that I'm living the same way too. Like, you know, sometimes I'm like, God damn, it takes forever. But then again, you know what I mean? It was also, you know, pain in the ass for me working in some of the jobs I work for too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like that financial gain. It's just like, it's like money. Money literally makes the world go round.
It does.
Right?
It does.
It's very true. But, you know, something if I was 600 plus pounds right now and I had everything I have right now, the business, the brand, all that stuff, I still would be a miserable life.
Right.
I still wouldn't be able to wipe my ass. I wouldn't be able to use the money. Really.
Right.
What if I want to go buy a Lamborghini tomorrow?
Right.
I wouldn't be able to fit in it.
Right.
What if I wanted to go on a vacation with my girlfriend? I have to take 2-3 seats. You know what I mean? I can sit in booths. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to get the experience, wouldn't be able to go parasailing, snowboarding, like whatever it might be. So even though we put like our finances and money so high because we do need it, but at the same time, like we need our health.
Yeah.
Right? Like I wouldn't be able to work this hard if I was 400, 500, 600 pounds.
Right.
You know? And then also too, the mental fortitude it takes and the discipline to lose weight is the same mentality, same discipline, same mental fortitude you need to get your life together with your finances and have a budget, you know, because people, don't even get me going on how much money these people spend eating out. Last week, I've seen this, talking about sales, I seen this stupid pizza thing. Damn, the pizza looks good, right? I'm team Fat Boy all day. I like good food, man. That's why I have the ebook, right? I don't like that crap grilled chicken and white rice. Like go pay an influencer coach for that. Like I want some real stuff. I want you to do this long term, right? So I was, you know, I seen that thing. I'm like, damn, I want it. But when I say I want something that I know I don't need, I make myself wait, right? Because I'm like, okay, cool. So I waited a week, and I was like, I'm not really feeling it this week. Waited the next week. I'm like, oh, I want it today. I'm gonna get it today. Cool. Count my macros. Make sure I had like 1,500 calories left. I'm bulking right now, so I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna get it. Bro, I ordered it with a tip. It came out to $68. It was a large pizza and freaking wings drier than the freaking Mojave Desert.
No, dude.
$68.
Yeah.
$68 for a meal for 3 people that was done in 45 minutes.
Right.
$68. And now I'm not by no means saying that I couldn't afford it, but it doesn't matter that I could afford it. The fact that I just spent almost $100 for a 45 second meal.
Right.
Like it's insane.
That's just going to come back out the outside. The other end.
And it didn't even taste good going in, so it definitely didn't taste good going out. I mean, it definitely feels good going out, but you know what I mean. But like, that's what we're so used to doing. Like we are broke. We're like mentally broke.
That's correct.
Right? We're so used to be mentally broke, where it's like I don't have money, but we have a $1,200 cell phone. Right? I was broke, but me and Francine would go to Korean barbecue 2 to 3 times a week.
Right.
That's at that time it was $25 a person.
Yeah.
That's $50 plus a $10 tip is $60. That's 60 times 3. But I was broke and barely could make some of my bills, or I was broke and I couldn't afford a personal trainer. Or I was broke and I couldn't save money. If we just went once a week, right, and saved the other 60, $120 a week, there's $400+ a month we could save. 6 months, there's a vacation, or paying off a credit card. You know what I mean? But it's I think we're mentally broke right now.
I think broke is a consequence of lack of information in any area of your life. So if you lack discipline and goals, then you're going to be broke because you lack the information that's going to take to say, why do I need to go spend $68 on this? When in reality, this tastes this much better. The goal of the vision and your discipline go hand in hand, that's going to taste that much better when you get to that goal.
Oh, yeah.
Be it whatever. So there has to be goals. So again, lack of information causes people to be broke. And being overweight is identical to being broke. I don't care how rich a person is, he's still miserable if he's fat.
No.
And that's the truth. The clarity, back to that, in which you feel when you're healthy and you're making business decisions, goal decisions, money decisions, relationship decisions, decisions all day long, come from you having a clear mind. You cannot have a clear mind if you're eating nothing but grease. You cannot have a clear mind if you're eating a shitload of sugar.
No.
That's the first cuss word I've ever said on the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, we ain't censored. I think there's only one time we had to cut something out.
I just got too passionate right there, bro.
No,
My
but
bad.
no, it is. It's good. It is great to be passionate about this stuff because, like, we sit here and have these conversations and so many, and like, I love being an online coach, right? Because I know I got X amount of people going to watch my podcast, whether it be on YouTube, Spot, and that's all I need is like my client. I literally told you like, yo, I need you back. My clients love having you there because they get to learn so much. So now there's other people other than my clients listening. I'm grateful for everybody, but my clients are the ones where I get these topics and I get these ideas from, and these mindset and these one-on-one conversations and these both group conversations, whatever it might be, because I like to let people know that their coach is not perfect. I let them know that Anthony Lopez and Modified Frankie are not perfect, you know, but at the end of the day, I know what it looks like when you start becoming better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would not reach out to you 5 years ago because I didn't give a crap what you fixed.
Right.
As long as I was still getting approved for credit cards with a whole bunch of interest rate, I'll deal with it later, right? Like you said, deal with it later, but I also deal with my weight, my obesity later. Also deal with my high blood pressure later. Also deal with can't wipe my own ass later, right? So like everything kind of goes in one. So it's like when I came up with like the podcast and us sitting here and the name of it, and because I was gonna go with weight loss and I was gonna go with heavy to modified and whatever it might be, but I'm like, I sat down and I was just like, Frankie was like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm just thinking. And I was like, and I kind of like looked at my whole life as a whole. Like I changed everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everywhere. Everything I'm doing today, I was not doing 3, 4, and 5 years ago. Right? So everything is different. Like everything is different. Now I'm still the same person, but everything I do is different. I care about myself, my appearance. I care about my hygiene. I care about my credit. I care about my presence in a room. Right? I care about how I present myself. I care about how other people look at me, and then people are like, well, don't care how they look at me, but if I'm walking in a room and I'm owning a business and my shirt's up to my, my belly button showing, I'm wearing sandals, I'm ashy, I maybe smell, then you have to care about that. Right. Now I'm not caring what they think about me. I'm just caring like, how I present myself. I walk in. I care about the money that I make. I personally think that the money that you make it shows how hard you work. Whether the money that you make is work hard at McDonald's, you take on those extra hours, or the working hard for owning your business. I'm not comparing how much money to make. I'm saying how much money you're making, how much you're bringing in at the job that you're doing, and whatever it might be. So now that we're having these conversations, before, like I'm not gonna lie, man, like maybe like a couple years ago, like you'll have you on here, and I would just like, okay, cool, thank you, man, thanks for helping. Like I'm not gonna lie, but like when you talk about this stuff and you talk like when we put emphasis on this stuff, like I really hits home because I'm like, damn, because I'm getting it done. And like now people are gonna sit here and listen to this, right? And in the next 2 years, what did I say? You're helping me this year fix my credit. My goal is to have a house in 2025, no later than 2026 in Vegas, and then move back into Corona. So now it's 2024 right now, and in 2026, when this stuff does happen, if I stay true to who I am and I'm not just bullshitting myself, they're gonna be like, damn, I've been listening to Modify Your Life podcast for 2 years. And he said that back there when he was at that luxury apartment. Now he had a house. Wait, now he's filming his house. Damn, now he's back in Corona and he bought the house. Like you don't have to just listen to this. You could actually take action to this, whether it be hitting up GC to work on your credit, whether it be you just doing your own research and you figuring out the things that you need to do. And it's like, I really hope, like, understand that the people that I have on here, the people, like me talking, anyone have on here, we're going to keep on growing. And the reason why we do this podcast, I make no money off this podcast at all. I've spent a lot of money in this podcast, find people out here, X, Y, and Z. But the reason why I do is because I want everyone to have the knowledge that I didn't have growing up. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anything. I don't even know how to do my taxes now.
Right.
I still owe from 2018 and 19 from me doing my taxes on TurboTaxes.
Right.
I just got hit with a fucking big ass. Woo! I got punched. Right. But okay. Now I'm talking about it. Oh my gosh, my AJ just said that he owes IRS. Yeah, I do. And there's probably like 95% of your freaking friends and family owe them too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the one that's not scared to bring it up because I know in a couple months, in a year, I'm not going to.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean?
It's funny you bring up taxes right now. So one of the things we added besides our legal team, we've now added tax experts to our team.
You guys got everything. You guys are taking over.
We've done that. We've also added business funding. You said something right now that I was just listening to you about caring. The reason why every single human being on earth really has to care is because we're going to die. Honestly, everybody still lives, and I trip out on how everybody still lives like they live forever. When in reality, the average man, you already know, is 76 years old nowadays. And if you're not healthy, then it's probably in your 50s. So for me, I live every single day that I'm going to die. Now, it sounds morbid and scary, but for me, it works because I count my blessings. I care a little more. I talk to people with a little more passion. I talk to my family, my kids, my wife. I reflect on the past of how much time I wasted, right? So when I was maybe not in the best shape of my life, I even thought about that. Like, dude, why did I waste so many years doing that? Or when I used to drink, or when I used to do drugs. The fact that I care now because I'm going to die at some point and I want to leave a legacy, or want to leave generational wealth, or I want to leave the world with information is what I try to tell everybody. Caring just a little bit more about you, yourself.
Yeah, what is it? You
fitness.
have to be selfish before you be selfless.
There is
right?
no reason why anybody should walk this earth if you were given a small journey, a small glimpse of what physical life is. There is no reason people should not try, man.
Oh no. Well,
whatsoever.
It's I kind of go like a double-edged sword with me with that conversation, right? Because I feel like I wouldn't, and I have to be honest. Like I'm always gonna be honest with myself and like what I'm thinking of while we're talking. Is that I feel that I needed to not respect life in order to respect it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You have to crash and burn.
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like if I maybe didn't go through my grandpa situation,
correct,
the suicidal thoughts, the depression, then maybe I wouldn't have sitting here to respect life so much. Because like now that I've been through what I've been through, and I was just talking about this on the vlog. I was like, now I didn't gain 400, 500, 600 plus pounds, right? For social media. I never thought in my life that I was gonna become freaking known because I was obese. Right. And have a whole bunch of loose skin. Let's be honest. Like that's why I'm known. And because I put in the work, but that's the main thing that they see that hooks them, right? 600-pound guy, holy crap, a whole bunch of loose skin, and he has muscle. I didn't plan on that. Yeah. Right. It just so happened that, I don't know, whatever you want to say, the stars aligned, right? I put in the work and people related with my content, and now I'm sitting here. Right now, I was never a plan, right? But if I didn't go through everything I went through, I don't think I would be the good person I would be, because I was an asshole, man. Because like when you're in a bad mood, and when you're like overweight, when you carry a whole bunch of like old trauma, like that we use as excuses of why our life is messed up, like you're a very negative person, right? So it's like you don't respect yourself, so you don't respect other people, right? Until like it's kind of like that bully, man, right? It's like that bully in school that always picks on people, everyone's scared of him. But then there's one dude, right? One dude comes right out of nowhere, just said F this, and just knocks the bully out, beats his ass. Right. Now that bully understands that it's not cool to bully. It hurts. Exactly. So it's like I feel like, yes, like I get that you should start respecting life, but I promise you, if you don't respect your life now, respect yourself now, life is gonna be that bully and it's gonna punch you. Most definitely. And hopefully it's not too late.
I think that's what people got to realize. There's something much bigger than you, outside of you. If you can psychologically get to that understanding, you will want to do more.
And it's by doing the right thing.
That's it.
It's like your job, you literally make an income because people don't do the right thing. You are going to help me because I didn't do the right thing.
Isn't it the same with doctors?
I have a job. Exactly. Exactly. Don't get me wrong with doctor. I don't know. Doctors have a bad taste with doctors, man. Yeah. They give some of my clients like 1,000 calorie meal plans and tell them they're 600 pounds, give them 1,000 calories.
But that's the point, is that everybody has a service position based on someone's negligence of their life or wrongdoing of their life.
And I'm not saying we have to be perfect. Now I'm not out here saying, hey everyone, you're not perfect. You're gonna crash and burn. No. What I'm saying though is that by people out there like you that do what you do and what I do the right way is that we're helping you create a better lifestyle by simply doing the right thing. Now, simply is not simply, right? Because when we live in a world of 95% are doing the wrong thing, we feel weird for doing the right thing, right? We feel weird when we're like, hey, GC, I'm not going out with you this weekend and drink, man. I want to stay home because, I gotta be up early because I want to, start reading this book and mow the lawn.
Right.
What do you mean? Go out, wake up, you'll be good. We feel like the odd ones out.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like you do the right thing, you feel like you're the one that is odd.
Yep.
Right? It's weird to do the right thing. It's like I was literally on Instagram and I saw David Goggins. He posted a video of him. You seen it?
Which one?
He just posted a video clip of him running.
Okay.
And the wife was saying, like, if you were ever wondering, like, what kind of goes through David Goggins' head, we were having a conversation out of nowhere. He just started running. He put his clothes on, his shoes on, and started running. So obviously his wife supports him.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, he has mental problem he needs to work on. He's running away from his problems, X, Y, Z. I'm like, and I was in the comments section. I was like, so you're saying he has mental problems. You're saying he has issues he needs to work on. And he's out there running instead of doing drugs, drinking. And he's out here dropping content, motivating people like me who are actually willing to put in the work and want to grow and want to become better. So he's the one that has a problem. He's fit. He's in shape. He's been, I think he's like was the Army or whatever he was in. I'm not sure.
Navy SEALs.
The Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
But he's the one that has a problem, right? We're the ones that are sitting here, smoking weed, drinking alcohol every single weekend, cussing, just being super ignorant and not respecting life, but he's the one that has a problem.
Right.
And that's when I sat back and I was like, I need to step away from Instagram. Like I was I was going to comment to someone, but I was like, I can't, I just stayed away from it. So it's like, we live in a time, a day and age right now where it's like, you're the loser for trying to be a winner.
That's always been the case though.
It has always been the case?
They sacrificed Jesus for being different.
Oh,
Right?
damn.
They slayed him because he was trying to, help people. And heal people.
That's it. So that's it. So okay, so it's been going before my time. It's going BC,
And so
it's been BC.
But to your point though, I've also learned, and what's gotten me through walking this earth now is that's the beauty of how different people are. Somebody making a comment like that is he's still at that chapter, that dimension, that phase of his life. He hasn't ascended to where you've ascended. So when I start to think, somebody making a dumb comment like that lets me know where his mind is.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to think with wisdom. We have to think in a stoic way, but we also have to live in a gratitude way that we understand that this person just hasn't rise to the occasion.
That's where God's still working on me.
Right.
I got to work on myself.
Right.
Sometimes I just get in there. I'm just like,
but guess how I did it? You just mentioned it. The fact that I admit I'm not perfect, the fact that you admit you're not perfect has helped me understand that the world isn't perfect, and that's what makes it a perfect place.
Yeah, perfectly imperfect.
Because it would make no sense if we all had it, if we all had the same amount of money, which leads to the next thing about this whole monetary system changing where they want to bring a world currency and everybody getting UBI, universal basic income. That's the stupidest thing because they want to roll out to where everybody has the same amount of money. Goes to this point again. If everything was just perfect and no one had any flaws or any shortcomings, you wouldn't modify your life.
No,
you wouldn't want to change.
You wouldn't want to
thing.
change. You're gonna be What happens is that you're gonna be complacent,
right?
And you're gonna get comfortable. And everyone knows comfortable is just another word for lazy,
right?
And that's they. Oh man, we can get into a whole other conversation. They want you fat. They want you lazy.
Yes.
They want you to be
broke.
mediocre and broke.
And
they
no
want
information.
You sick. They want you with no information. And at the end of the day, they want you to work for these companies. They don't want you to own a company.
Correct.
Right? And
Or
that's
own
why
nothing.
when we go to school, we go off of a bell system. A bell goes up, we stand up, we leave, we go to the next place.
Right.
Right? And at the end of the day, it's like before I would listen to stuff like, and I'm not like, I speak from two versions of myself. Right? And I really catch myself like on podcasts where it's like I really have to announce it. So speaking from the old version of myself, I used to hate people like you. I used to hate watching people be successful. I used to hate looking at good-looking dudes.
Right.
I used to hate looking at good-looking girls because it bothered me because like why did I get stuck with this body? Why did I get stuck? Why me? Why me? But at the end of the day, it's like my mindset was a victim. Right? I didn't look at that good-looking guy or that good-looking girl or whatever it might be or that person who has that badass car and think how hard they have to work for it.
Right.
I just automatically assumed, though they didn't do it. They didn't work for that. And like that's that victim mentality that I had because I was unhappy with myself.
Right.
right? Like I was generally unhappy with myself. So if you're over here talking about like, oh, well, you have to do this and get your credit, whatever it might be. God forbid you talk about making money, because now my ego is really struck, right? Old version of myself. I would be like, oh, forget that. Like, whatever. Oh, they're probably a scam, blah, blah, blah. But as I gotten older and I've been around in certain rooms, and not only gotten older, as I've actually started putting in the work to become better, and I've put in the work to make the money that I make and blessed to do what I do and actually I love my job.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I have so much gratitude for my life. Like I always tell Francine, like, I'm okay if I lose everything. I'm okay with that, but it's not going to be because I got lazy.
Yeah.
Right. And in that case, I should never lose anything as long as I don't get lazy, because I'm so grateful for everything that I have. And once again, it goes back to what we're talking about. If I didn't have my version of rock bottom and I didn't fail and learn as much as I did for 27 years, maybe I wouldn't have ever respected this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think I talked about before, the remote control car story.
Right.
My grandpa bought me a $500 remote control car. I treated it like shit. I bought myself a $500 remote control car. Thing looks like you can eat off of it. You know what I mean?
Right,
and because I respect it more, because it cost me.
Yeah.
Right.
It did.
So
you mentioned something that this is why I do what I do. And that's when I guess the way I'm designed, they call me a sigma male, whatever. You got beta, alphas, and sigmas. I'd like to say that the way they describe them, sure, that makes sense. But I don't like when there's hierarchy and they're pulling a sham over the world or people. I have a big personal problem with that. And that happened at a very young age in school when I realized that it was repetitive patterns that they were just teaching over and over in the Bell system. And I caught on very quick. And I'm talking about middle school and high school. And that's when I said, I'm going to pull back and pull away from this matrix. When I realized that the curriculum that they were teaching had nothing to do with life itself, finances, business,
Savings.
credit, savings.
I still don't think they teach that stuff.
No, they don't. And so here's the thing. There's certain classes now that they're finally starting to implement. Here's the point is they teach you auto body, or they teach you job skills. They teach you history, all this stuff that you're not going to use the moon landing.
Where do you ever use it? I'm so confused. I've never used anything I've learned
100%
in history.
Never. Or social studies.
I don't know.
History. I don't know.
Never had to talk about the bellflower shit.
No.
In my life, no, I have a pod. I talk a lot.
Yeah.
I understand I talk a lot. I know my clients are like, damn right, he does. Yes, I do. I talk a lot.
Right.
But I've never had to talk about the bellflower.
Well, think of what you're saying is so important to everybody that has a job that's listening to this. Do you talk about anything in your job daily when you're servicing a client or selling something that had to do with your 12 years of school? Nothing there. No. You're talking about the product or the service you're selling at your job that you hate. So how the hell does 12 years of nothing prepare you for anything?
For a piece of paper.
When I realized that, my point was this. I got very pissed off and I said, how come nobody knows about credit? Because I sure as hell don't. I couldn't finance a house. I couldn't finance a car. I couldn't get a credit card. Just like I mentioned last time in my 20s. Then I started to realize, wait, who are the only ones that own businesses? I always pictured a dude with a tie, with some nice peppered hair, or older with glasses, the kind of that look in the White House, right? Those type of people,
those are
politicians.
Business owners.
I was like, those are the only business owners. So when I started to realize all of these factors that they didn't teach you why you need an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp, I was like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. So yeah, you can go to university and go take an economics class, this and that, but the difference of what I'm telling you, of 12 years, they do not implement this. This is why everybody's broke. So what I've done now, adding to this whole business, I've added business funding now. Let's just say I have a client who comes to me with a 600 score, needs to build his score. He also has an LLC. He's finally doing his taxes right, so we make sure that's in order. We go ahead and get him business funding, and there's 5 to 6, maybe even 14 different products that he can qualify that has nothing to do with, honestly, his personal credit. It can be bank statements. It could be the business bank statements, or it could just be driven off of his credit. There's so many factors now. So I've implemented all this in my GC coaches, GC the coach, right? Where I'm just not fixing your credit. It has to do with fixing your life all the way around. So I'm doing that now where we're bringing in people that need $25,000 to $5 million, whatever kind of business you have. The average person right now is getting about $250,000. So did they teach us this in school? No. They don't talk about this.
They don't teach you how to file taxes in school.
They don't. But they want.
I still don't know how to file taxes.
Well, here's the problem: is they want 30 to 45% of your income. We talked about this last time, that this entire system is built off of exactly what the Romans did with Caesar. At the end of the day, that's why you don't learn anything for 12 years in school on purpose. This is by design. And either you wake up and pull back, same thing, if your matrix is eating like crap and you don't pull back and realize that you're going to end up where you don't want to end up, it is the same thing with your credit. It's the same thing with your finances.
100%.
The entire thing. And it's funny that you kept bringing up certain points that just tie in to everything we're talking about when it comes to fitness.
I don't have knowledge in finances. Like, I have knowledge in starting a business. I have knowledge in being a good person. I have knowledge in accountability and discipline. And I'm just finishing up my life coaching stuff right now. I don't have knowledge in, I didn't go to school for all that. I'm starting to, I've started, but I haven't, finished this stuff.
Right.
But I do have knowledge in life.
Yeah.
Right. And I do know that the things that I'm talking about now, I didn't get it from any of these books that I read. I've got it from life. Like, I got slapped around trial and error. And it wasn't even really, it wasn't even trial. It was just error.
Correct.
Like, I didn't know what I was doing, So, like, having these conversations and, like, sharing this to the people that support myself and the brand and not myself. I'm going to say to support the brand because the brand is a lifestyle. I made a post the other day. I took it down because it got messed up because I put photos in order and one of them didn't pop up. But I said that, heavy to modified is not Anthony Lopez. It's everyone. It's a lifestyle. Right. And so, like, being able to sit here and talk and be able to be honest with people and say, like, I don't know half the stuff I didn't know half the stuff he was talking about, but I know that it's going to benefit me to learn. Correct. I know it's going to benefit me to know, because now, yes, I grew up not knowing a lot of different things, right? Totally fine. But guess what? Now my kids are. Yeah. Now my godson is, like, now my nephews are, and nieces, or whatever it might be. So, be able to sit here and have this talk with you and be able to learn so much, it all goes together, man, with living a good life. Like, being financially free is amazing. Being physically free from, I guess we not really work physically free, but to be free of no limitations because of your weight is amazing. Be able to actually save money going on a trip is amazing. That's one thing too, is, like, people don't talk about. People think it's so expensive to go on vacation. Like, I thought it was like $5,000-$10,000 to go on a vacation. Right. But then Francine's like, no. And then we could just save, but we're broke. Right. But yet, like I said, go back. We're spending $150 a week on food. Right. That is unnecessary food, not just to eat. I'm talking about food. But if you don't do that you build discipline for 5-6 months, you take that $3,000, you could go on a nice vacation. But what we're doing is, like, we're so used to being the 95% of the world where we're going to the same bars, we're going to the same clubs, we're spending the same money we don't have, we're using the same credit card we paid off 20 different times this year. And we're doing the same thing to impress the people who don't have a pot to piss in. And we're just like the 95%. So, like, when I hear this stuff and I'm listening to it, I'm, like, listening to, like, the new version of myself, but I'm also understanding, like, the old version of myself. Like, damn, I was just a hater. You know what I mean? I once upon a time I was a hater, block our own blessings. But now I'm like, I'm just intrigued by it.
So, for instance, when you're going on this travel, all of that can be 100% written off, right?
Yeah, you told me that. I have an accountant.
Yeah,
we've been friends in high school, so I have a guy who does my books, and he lets me know a lot of things. Either way, I'm definitely screwed. I'm definitely screwed. I already know that. But at the end of the day, I'm excited to learn from this. I'm excited that I can have the money to pay it every single week, pay towards it weekly, and I'm prepared for it. Right. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I was 38. I think it was 38,000. Now we're about to be paid off the next 4 months, and then we're gonna be working with you to get everything. Because the one thing about our business and our brand is that we want to help people. Yeah. But in order to help people, we have to help ourselves first. Right. So I want to be able to get a business credit card. I want to be able to fly my clients out here to train with me for a weekend when they earned it. Like, there's so much I want to do, but I cannot be a better coach. I can't be a better person until I start doing better and doing, and learning more. So
let me drop two things, because it's for your community and everybody listen to this. I want to drop some quick nuggets. It's tax time right now. Everybody's getting prepared for taxes. I want you guys, whoever has a job right now, W-2 job, when you're going to go file your taxes, be very careful with your CPA or your enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is nothing more than a tax prep. Your CPA doesn't really Mickey Mouse things, but an enrolled agent might. When you go file your taxes, and let's just say you make, I don't know, $50,000 a year, and your tax person says you're going to get back 10, 15, 20 grand, you better ask yourself how. If you make if you make yourself, I don't know what that was, if you make yourself 150 to 200,000, you should have a little more sense. But if he tells you or she tells you you're going to get back 20, 30 grand, you better ask them how. One of the biggest things that they do is they write off your income. They write it down. So what that means is if you say you make 50, you actually make 50, but they write you down to 20, they're saying you took a loss and now you're going to get that money back. What happens when you go next year to try to go ahead and qualify for a home? You don't make enough. What happens when you try to go apply for a car? You don't make enough because you thought it was cool to make that little quick 10, 15,000 or whatever they're trying to promise you. They're taking a cut out of that. They're going to get you those 10, 15,000 back, but they're going to ask you for 1,500 as a little commission split. So why did I bring that up? I don't care if they hate on me, these tax people. Remember, I have a tax team. So most importantly, I want you to ask that question. I had a few friends that were making nearly $500,000 in 1 year, and he was excited to get back 180,000. I said, dude, you're a W-2 person. How are you getting that money back without any write-offs? He said, I don't know. My tax guy said I'm getting that back. Without a question, he did not even go find out how. The only way you could legally do that is if you have some write-offs, LLCs, have yourself some properties, have yourself enough write-offs the right way to either break even and possibly get money back. Rich people never get money back. There is no such thing as you get this much back from the IRS. The only thing you're hoping for when you're rich is that you break even.
Yeah.
Period. That you just don't owe. But how do you pay zero taxes is a beautiful thing. That is very possible to do it legally. That's what you should be searching for. But if some tax person tells you they're getting you back 10 grand, you better ask them how and how much did you write down off my income? Didn't even give you any expense to write-offs the right way because you're a W-2. You don't own a business, so you can't even have legally some write-offs. So that's one point I want to tell everybody.
And people get so happy when they get that money. That's what I mean. The TurboTax.
What's the real downside? Not that you didn't qualify. If they come knocking at the door and do an audit, because it's a lottery. The way the IRS works is they just randomly pull you and say, let's take a look at this dude's or this girl's. If they see, oh, wow, we gave her back 10 grand. Let's see how. And they go ahead and ask you, show us how you got these write-offs or whatever that person wrote down for you. You can't produce that, you owe that money back. And if you don't pay it back, you're going to pay back some interest. And if you don't pay back some interest and that back, give it some time, you'll end up in jail. Straight up. The IRS don't play. The biggest mob in the world.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind them putting me in jail for a year to pay off my taxes. If they're listening, IRS, if you're out there listening, I'll do like 80 days or something.
So you're not in bad shape. After this, I'll tell you exactly what you could do. There's a particular thing that you actually file to be able to.
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah, we're working.
So
I'm just talking trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
don't say that.
Because
then you're gonna come out of jail as a new influencer. And you're gonna start telling people how you did time and that.
Oh damn, that's like I said. I can't. I'm like, hey, I just did 60 days.
You know what I mean?
How many hours is that?
Some
federal time, federal stuff
where they have shrimp and lobster.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that could change the whole brand. I could rechange the whole brand. I get prison time now. I get a tattoo. I got two. I'll never get.
It'll be modified heavily in jail.
Heavily modified with the prison bars behind the. We said the whole podcast and everything.
I'm telling you,
I love that, man. So, obviously we went over a lot of finances today, right? And we see a lot of comparison into weight loss, into finances. It just overall doing the right things with our life for the little bit of time we have here, right? And definitely am always going to want to bring you back on because there's always so much we go over and talk about, learn, man. Exactly, right?
Family.
So like moving forward, obviously you're going to help me modify Frankie with her taxes. Not taxes, sorry, with our credit.
Yeah.
Right. So what's that going to look like? So the people are going to want to be updated. People are going to want to kind of know what the next steps, and possibly someone listening is going to want to work with you. So and I'm curious to know too. So what are going to be what is everything going to look like in the next? Is it going to take 6 months? Is it going to take a year? Is it going to take 2 years?
I'm so glad you brought this up, man, because there's so much chaos and noise out there. The only true thing we can say from our end, what we do, is the truth is we've seen results in 30 days, but that depends what type of account we're disputing. It depends if it's an inquiry, right? So when you see these gurus out there saying, we've got your results in 30 days, yeah, they're probably removing an inquiry. But realistically, we've seen it happen in 30 days. We've seen it happen in 120 days. I've seen it even go up to 24 months. It just depends, honestly, what's on your profile. Everybody's profile is different. So for me to sit here, guys, and not even looked at his profile yet, for me to even say, yeah, we'll get it done in 90 days, I'm lying. And if you hear that from somebody tell you it's going to take exact time frame, they're a liar, run, it's a scam. Why? Because it's not even up to us. We don't even have a magic button. And that's the problem we deal with a lot, is a lot of these clients will say, hey man, I haven't seen anything happen in 30 days. What's going on? Because they saw these videos. So realistically, guess who really governs the credit is the reporting agencies. They're the ones that can take their time. They're the ones that take 45 days every dispute round. But if they fail to comply with a certain time frame, that's where we come after them. That's where we press them. That's where we bring in the legal team instantly, because now they're violating the actual law. Ooh. So it's important to know that how long will it take? Man, as long as we look at your profile, and how long it's going to take is based on what's on there, man. That's a fact.
All right, so we got a lot more podcasts to do. We'll update. We got a lot more. I don't know.
Okay, let's put it this way. Did you lose everything you did in 30 days, fitness-wise?
Hell no.
How long has your journey been?
5 years.
Okay.
27 years, actually. No, my whole life.
Right.
I've been on a journey my whole life.
So credit is no difference, as we kept relating this whole time since I've been on here these 2-3 times now, is credit is the same way. Is it took you long to get in that shape, right? To mess it up. It's going to take some time to get that stuff off. Right. And so realistically, it's not going to take more than, if it takes more than 24 months, something's going on. But realistically, 12 months is a solid number to give somebody a high number, but then over deliver and be like, I got it.
Was it under? Yeah. Was it over promise, under deliver? Or no, under deliver, over promise.
Right.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. All right, man. Cool, man. Like I love it, man. I love having this conversation. I love to be able to just sit down and talk with you, man. And just bring a lot of knowledge that people maybe not had today, right? And we got to go on the weight loss side a little bit. We got to talk about the finance side. So definitely want to have you back on here. Definitely excited to see what we're gonna do with each other. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't. This is not a paid advertisement. This is, I met you. I liked you. I like what you're about. And now we're working with each other. Now we're having the podcast, and we get to talk and bring knowledge to people. So definitely want to have you back.
I want to give a big shout out to your entire community. A lot of them since the first podcast have reached out, followed me. They've asked me questions. And your community is always welcome to ask me anything. Remember, I told everybody, I'm the one responding to every single DM. If they call my company, I'm the one answering. Let's go. Yes, I have a team. Yes, I have a team of 12. I don't care to answer questions. I love it, man, because that's why I signed up for this life, man, was to help people. So shout out to your entire community, bro. They always pop up. I'm like, who's this? And it's somebody that's
from the podcast
community, man.
Yeah.
And so
because it's literally what I said in the beginning of this podcast. I have a client who has lost, over 50 plus pounds. Now he makes my content for me. His work ethic is the best editor I've ever had, and I've had multiple people work for me. I've had great ones, but I'm just kind of going the best one I've had in a very long time. Let me say that, because I have had some good ones. I don't want to disrespect anyone. But it's literally, and he's not the only person that changes life mentally, physically, and emotionally, and now, financially also. Yeah. So it just comes with doing better. So the fact that, I have my clients that are reaching out to you, they're asking questions, they're working on their health, they're working on their wealth, is amazing, man. So it's like, honestly, it's not 360, right? It's a full 180 because you completely turn yourself around and you start wanting more for yourself because you have faith in because you have faith because of work you put in.
That's it.
Right? And so when you do more, you want more. And when you want more, you become better and become a better person. Your life gets a lot better.
Correct.
Right? At the end of the day, get out there and work on yourself, become the best version of yourself, change your life mentally, change your life physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually. And it's simple task right now is just wake up tomorrow and do the right thing.
That's it.
That's it.
Doing the right thing is doing the right thing.
That's it, man. So once again, all your stuff will be down below.
Yes, if you put it, GC the Coach is my handle. GC Credit Coaches is the other handle for my business. Either one they reach into, or gccreditcoaches.com. But definitely, if you hit me at GC the Coach, man, I'm responding to everything. And your community, dude, gets honestly that treatment from me.
Let's go.
So they're family.
They told me a couple. They told me that you
they're family, bro.
Appreciate you, man, for being
Love you guys, man.
All right,
for real.
And that's it. Modify Life Podcast, where we change your life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Get out there and save some money.
Yes.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man. It can't be.